Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host Jennifer and today is, well, today in my world it's Wednesday. But I'm recording Monday Makes early because I have plans this weekend and honestly I have nothing to show you for Monday Makes. I'm going to move some stuff off my desk so that I have room. I should have did this before I hit record. But there's just... there's so much stuff in here. Alright. I have not made anything because I've been traveling. And I've been having a really good time traveling. So, on Monday in our world, we generally come by... what do I do with my coaster? We come by and we say, hey, what's up? And we talk about what we have made in the past 7 days. I have nothing to show you. I have nothing to show you. And I'm recording this even before I'm recording Thursday and Friday's video of last week because, well, I'm not feeling real great, as you can probably hear in my voice. I started to get sick last Tuesday, and by last Tuesday I mean the Tuesday before I went to Boston, and yeah. I started to feel a little tickle, a little frog in my throat. And then I was real careful. I was like nursing myself, making sure I was, you know, eating properly, making sure I was getting enough water, making sure I was feeling okay. So that I could go to the concert and scream my head off and dance and have a good time. And I also threw my back out. I had to go to the chiropractor and get that fixed. And generally, when traveling, I have to be really extra careful because I cannot eat gluten or I get violently ill. So there's a lot of things that go on that I have to, and I was very mindful of and aware of that I needed to be careful of in order to make my concert goings a success. Now today's video, if you're interested to listen at all, this is going to be a travel blog, and I'm going to probably pop up pictures, and I'm really going to make this... I'm going to show you all, there's going to be a slideshow here, okay? Which means I have to do a whole lot of editing to make this video happen. But that's why I'm recording this one first. And then I'm going to record my fun videos from last week that shows you yarn and all kinds of fun stuff. Okay? So, and I know that's probably confusing to you because in my mind I have a list of running things I need to do today. And I'm trying to muster up the energy. I got out of bed I've been up since 5. But I got out of bed at 9:30 because I've been sick. I've been up several times over the night, not feeling good. Just having to run to the bathroom, just, you know, just feeling real awful today. Or the coughing fits, because it feels like whatever started in my throat is now in my chest. So, I have my cup of throat coat tea brewing. We will be sipping on that. Sipping on throat coat tea. No, it's not a chemical. That's a song. I totally changed the words. Alright, so let's get down to this. I bought tickets back in February for a music festival called Boston Calling 2025. It is in Boston, Massachusetts. If you're not familiar with the United States because you're in another country, and quite a few of you are, I live on the East Coast by the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, I don't live on the coast. I'm a couple hours from the coast, but I'm like, I can see the coast in a couple hours. I live south of Washington, D.C., which is our nation's capital. Boston, Massachusetts is several states north. It is, on a good day, a 9-hour drive. It was supposed to be a 9.5-hour drive. We went, the festival's on Memorial Day weekend, which means, because it's a long weekend here in the United States, and it's the starting point of summer, and everybody goes out of town or to the beach for Memorial Day weekend. Well, some people just stay home and have a barbecue, but like, it's a big travel weekend here in the United States. Okay, so we knew there was going to be a lot of people on the road. So we left Friday in the morning, and we drove all day We made a couple of stops for like either food or bathroom breaks, and on the way, I was looking at the map and I was like, how far are we going to be from the Statue of Liberty? I've never seen the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is a big symbol for the United States. It's the first thing you saw coming into the country when the country was, you know, having immigrants come by the boatload. And Ellis Island was there, and, well, it's still there, but Ellis Island is where they went and they registered to live in the country, and they, you know, did all the things. And I just have I've been to New York proper. I've never been to New York City. And I've been to New York on the Niagara Falls side. So way up by Canada. And we went to Niagara Falls when I was about 5 or 6 because my mom and dad, they were poor. They took their tax return one year and decided they were going to go on a honeymoon after they had 3 kids. And they took all of us to Niagara Falls. And I remember very little of the trip. I remember it having a huge impact on me. I will never forget what the waterfalls sounded like, how massively huge and roaring they were. It was kind of scary. I remember, my dad yelling at me because I was a lot like Little Man, so like I was very high energy, didn't listen real well. He's yelling at me, don't get too close to the rail. And I remember the rail was like this. It had to have been copper because it was patina. It was like green, you know. And it was like open. And I remember standing by the railing and touching the railing, and the waterfalls looked like they were going out from under my feet. And I remember my dad, who was very, my dad was aggressive when we were growing up. I'm just going to say that. I remember my dad screaming at me that, don't get too close to the edge. I'm not Superman. I can't save you. And I looked at him dumbfounded, like, what does that even mean? Because I was 6 years old. What do you mean you're not Superman? And he's all, I can't fly down and rescue you from falling. Like, don't get close to the edge. But I wanted to look over because, wow, that's really cool. Because my memory is that it was literally coming out from the cement under my feet. Like I was on top of the waterfall. And I don't know if that's a real memory, or my brain is like changing it but like that, I remember that, you know. So I've been to New York. Now, should tell you guys, English is not, I'm not English in today, okay? We have traveled a lot as a family, me and my husband and our children. And we have been to most of the United States, the continental United States. So obviously not Alaska or Hawaii, because my husband will not fly. So we've driven through, been to, stopped in, ate in, vacationed in most of the states in the United States. We have 50 states, and we have been through the entire bottom half of the states and a good portion of the top center. So from Idaho to Michigan, and I have been to New York. And we've been in Delaware up before this trip, and everything below Delaware, all the way down to Florida, okay? So my number was like 42 states or something like that, I think. That could be wrong. There was a lot of states, okay? So after this trip, we added a few more states to the numbers, and we are all at the same number now because everyone has been to New York with me. Now, I'm going to say this. RJ was with us. RJ is my daughter's boyfriend. He traveled with us. I bought him a ticket to the festival. Mr. Cinnamon did not go to the music festival. That's not his deal. He would have been miserable. And I took Little Man for the first time. Little Man was absolutely... He's not going to another music festival with me ever. And we will discuss that. It was not a good idea. There were parts of it that were really good, and there were parts of it that were really, really bad, and we're going to discuss that, because Little Man is my 10-year-old son who is ADHD, neurodivergent, and has a bunch of issues, okay? I didn't think that one all the way through. I'm just going to say that. Still had an amazing time. And an overall look of the weekend, it was all a really good time with a few moments that I really wish had not happened. So, in driving, now I'm going to say Mr. Cinnamon used to always be down for the adventure, and he's not as much anymore. He's getting older and he's getting crankier, and he's just not up for it anymore the way that I am. I have a very adventurous spirit, and so when I asked if we could stop at the Statue of Liberty, he was very hesitant because he's about getting there in a timely manner, and he wants to be efficient. He doesn't want to drive all day, but he won't let his wife drive. Oh, no. So we bickered. Oh, we bickered. I just wanted to, like, when am I going to have an opportunity to see the Statue of Liberty again? I just want to see her, you know? And so, finally talked him into it. I plotted out the route for us because the GPS is okay, but, like, sometimes he needs his navigator, which is me, to figure out the destination, exactly where I need us to go and how to get there, etc. And he made like 4 wrong turns, which he normally doesn't do. He's just been off lately. And he had a doctor's appointment, and we'll talk about that too. Because I've been worried about him. He's been falling asleep like at the drop of a hat. And he does have sleep apnea. He refuses to go and get put on a CPAP for it. And telling me to tell him, I've been talking to him since I met him. He has had it his whole life. He don't listen. He doesn't care if he's going to die and leave his family. He, like, no matter how much arguing or complaining at him, the man will not go get a CPAP machine to help him breathe. And now it's starting to catch up with him, and he fell asleep at the wheel. Thank God I was staring at him when it happened, because I yelled at him to wake up and pull over because I'm going to drive. He still would not let me drive. I told him, I said, you're going to kill your whole family because you're too stubborn to let me drive. And so we got into it about that. Like I said, there was a few incidents. It didn't ruin the whole trip, but there's a few incidents I wish had not happened. So we did, in fact, pull off to see the Statue of Liberty. We saw her backside because we stopped in Jersey and not in the New York side because New York is scary. Okay, there is a million people there. And it's not scary because, like, I'm scared of being in New York. The traffic would have added, if we had gone on the New York side, the traffic alone would have added hours onto our trip. And I settled for the Jersey side. I was perfectly happy to look at her rear end, okay? I was excited. We got out, we parked, and there's this long path to get to where we were at. And little man did a Liberty Mutual commercial, which is an insurance company here. I think it's insurance. And because a lot of the commercials for Liberty Mutual happen in and around where the Statue of Liberty is. And so he was so excited. And then there were some military airplanes doing maneuvers around the Statue of Liberty, which is really cool. And then 2 fighter jets flew over, which is like, how more America could you get? Is fighter jets flying over the Statue of Liberty while you're standing there? Like, it's epic, right? Now, as far as I know, that could happen every day of the world. But, like, for me, it was like, whoa, what is happening? And RJ has ties in New York and all along the East Coast. And when I mentioned the Statue of Liberty, he's all, I'm going to warn you, Statue of Liberty looks real big in all the pictures and stuff. He goes, it's really disappointing. And then I told him about how Mount Rushmore, when we went to Mount Rushmore, I was really disappointed with how little Mount Rushmore looked because it's so massive on TV and movies, right? But the actual Mount Rushmore park is kind of back a ways, and it looks very small in pictures and in person. Now, one of you did tell me that there's a path that you could walk up closer, like to the foot of. We didn't know that. I still didn't know that for a fact, like, until you put that comment. And then we also, Mount Rushmore was one of those places I had to stop at a detour and talk Mr. Cinnamon into going to because I always wanted to see it. And it was way off of the path that we were supposed to be driving home. And so Yeah. We were there for maybe an hour. We looked, we saw, we left. Same thing with Devil's Tower. I've always wanted to go to Devil's Tower, which is a national park, which is amazing. Look it up. It's amazing. Same thing. We stopped, we saw, we left. So, very, very excited to see the Statue of Liberty. And we arrived in Boston, because that's where we were staying, was Boston. We were right down the street from the festival. It was dark. It was in the evening. I think it took closer to 11 hours to get to the hotel from our house, which Mr. Cinnamon was not happy about, but I was just so grateful that we stopped and saw the Statue of Liberty. I really, really liked it. And then the next day was the festival. So we woke up. The festival was on the Harvard athletic field. So it was on the Harvard campus. And for me, I was very much a fascinated tourist / movie watcher, because I opened up the curtains for the hotel room and I looked out, and we were along a canal, river, whatever you want to call it, and you could see the Harvard boathouse, and they had the rowers going up and down the canal, river, whatever it is, in the morning. And there are so many countless movies I have seen that in. I was just like so amazed. And I was thinking about one of my favorite movies in the whole world is Good Will Hunting. Okay, I love Good Will Hunting. And I was thinking about like some of the stuff I saw in Good Will Hunting, and I was like, oh, like that's cool, because there's a scene where I don't remember if it was Good Will Hunting or not, but there's a scene where they're by the water and the rowers were going by, and I'm like, that's just cool. So I got to 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm looking out the window and the rowers are going, the Harvard rowers, which was neat. Okay. One of the really big supporters of this channel has been Nancy. It's Carrot Boo is her screen name on here. She's been, and I this in the members video, so she already knows my sentiment on this. I really was hoping I could have met up with her while we were out there, but there was not enough time. Like, we were only there for the weekend, and there was so much planned in. And then Sunday, I actually had time, and I was like, I want to call her, but I'm really sick. So I had time on Sunday, and I was like, oh, I want to like message her and be like, hey, can you meet me here, there, wherever, you know? Because I kind of know where she lives, because I do have her address, because she has ordered from Jujus Etsy, and I was like, oh, I want to meet up with her. I just wanted to hug her and tell her, you know, I appreciate her support, and like, I care about her. I care about her kids. She's pregnant though, and I didn't reach out to her because I felt really awful on Sunday, and this has continued on. I'm like, I'm not getting her sick because she's pregnant, and I ain't doing that. But I did think about her a lot while we were in town. But there was not enough time. Ideally, I would have loved to stay for longer than a week, but the hotel was really expensive, and I was the one paying for it all. So, you know, paid for the whole trip. So Saturday, we knew the festival was Saturday, and it started at 1 and it went till 11. I know that I'm a 45-year-old woman with chronic illness, okay? I have a lot of things going on in my body, and I knew I was already not feeling real great. I could not have survived the entire day at the festival. And also, little man would not have survived it. He would have drove me crazy, and he did for a little bit. And there was a band there that RJ wanted to see, and it was All Time Low. And I apparently knew a couple of their songs, but I didn't know who they were because they're not some I listen to. And so they were supposed to come on stage at 4:40. So I was like, okay, we can get at the complex around 4, and that will give us enough time to get to the stage so we can see All Time Low perform. Well, we got there at 3:40 or something like that, and the lines were ridiculously long. They didn't know what they were doing. They were telling people to get into this other line that was supposed to be a platinum only line because the regular line was so crazy. So they put us in a platinum line for like VIP. They did not check. They were just pushing people through. And then there was a line just for Chase card holders. That line didn't move the entire time we were there. And people were like, I'm a Chase holder. Like trying to be, okay. There were two kinds of people at the festival, okay? There was nice, friendly festival people. And then there were entitled, obnoxious people who you just could tell had money and just thought they were just... I'm going to chalk it up to being on Harvard's complex. The entitlement from some of the people and the snobbery. Woo! I don't tolerate that. You ain't entitled to a dang old thing in this world. I don't care who you are, how much money you got. No, ma'am. So, yeah, the line was crazy. The Chase line did not move. Like, they were trying to verify all that. So the Chase line was actually way longer than everyone else, which was crazy to me. So Juju was panicking a little bit because RJ really wanted to see All Time Low. Like, he really likes them. And so he looked at her. He's like, we got time. It's okay. Like, it's going to be okay. We got to the stage area, and we had time to get in a good section of... Because these festivals are... There's a big stage and a big open field. And you kind of have to, like, fight to get a spot in the crowd if you want to get close. And we happened to come in as some of the crowd was leaving from the previous act. And we got a really good spot. I mean, it wasn't... We were probably the equivalent of, like, 100 people back from the stage. But it was still, like, we were in a good spot. And All Time Low was pretty good. Like, I'm also going to tell you, I have a really hard time being on my feet for long periods of time because my back is so messed up. And because when I broke my ankle a year and a half ago, it still, if I'm on my feet too much, it swells up like a balloon. And it hurts really bad because the type of break that it was not a clean break. It was not a bone break so much as it was the tendons that connect to the muscle along the side of my foot. No, they're attached to the bone. The tendons are like this. They attach. So if your foot is like this, they attach along the side of my foot. And it was I think it's called a torsion tear. So I rotated it so hard that the muscle ripped off the bone and took bone with it. And so that's never going to heal properly without surgery and all kinds of crap. I'm always going to have problems with that foot. And I do. A lot. So I knew I also am 330 pounds. Okay? I'm a big giant woman. I have diabetes, which means I have circulation problems. On top of it, I have... there's a lot going on in my body. There's a lot going on in my body. I know when I'm at a concert, I'm limited how long I can stand. Energy, willpower, pain level. And I usually will sit in a chair until my band comes on stage, because there's usually 2 or 3 opening acts. And I don't waste my energy or the amount of willpower I have to get up and I dance the entire time my band is on stage. It's just, I love to dance. And that's another reason why my energy depletes, because I'm literally dancing sometimes for 2 or 3 hours. Real talk. Like dancing. Singing, screaming, clapping. I'm a wild girl at a concert, okay? I'm gonna see if my tea is properly cooled down. Perfect. It's throat coat tea, so hopefully it coats my throat. So I was kind of worried about the concert because if we're there at 4 o'clock and I need to stand up until 11, which is when Fall Out Boy ended, I was worried. So All Time Low came on stage. They performed about an hour. I stood through all of that. Good job. Little man wanted to go sit down. He'd had enough. It's been an hour. He needs to go sit down and just decompress. Cool. We went back and sat down on our ponchos because I should probably say this. It rained all of Friday, the entire time we're driving, and all morning Saturday. leading up to the festival. So the ground was really muddy. We had ponchos in case it rained on us, but because it wasn't raining currently, I opened a poncho and put it on the ground, and me and him sat down while Cage the Elephant came on stage. And I was surprised I actually knew one of their songs. Because I listen to music, I don't listen to bands specifically unless it's like Fall Out Boy is my hyperfixation. Jake Wesley Rogers is a love of mine. Garth Brooks is a love of mine since I was 11. I really like Panic at the Disco because I've been to a couple concerts with Juju. Like I listen to a wide array of music. I can sing all of the words to pretty much songs from every genre of music that is on the earth because I just love it. Music is very, like, I love music. I love dancing. I love singing. So, him and I went and sat back, and Juju and RJ went and looked at merch booths and got beverages for everybody, and at one point they got little man some chicken, and I knew I needed to save up as much energy as I could, so I sat on the ground, which is not real comfortable because my back was so bad the week before. I actually had a hard time getting up because my leg was making my back cramp the way I had my leg twisted, but it was okay. We got through it, right? And that's not even a complaint of mine. That's just a fat person problem that I had to deal with. And then, trying to remember who else was on. I feel like someone else came on stage. I know Avril Lavigne played. Avril Lavigne was really good. I was surprised. Her voice is not as good as it used to be. She's older. I mean, she's not 16 anymore. But, let's see, Saturday. Green stage. There's also 3 stages we stayed at the green stage. Or there's 4 stages we stayed at the green stage. So, All Time Low, Cage the Elephant. Okay, and then Avril Lavigne came on at 7:10. And I stood up through all of her performance. We had to go, again, fight for a spot in the crowd because we left the crowd. The die-hard festival goers, the young people who have less medical problems and healthier and have more energy, stayed in the front where they were supposed to, where they wanted to be. They stayed there the whole dang day. I can't do it. There's no chairs unless you're VIP or platinum or whatever. So Avril Lavigne came on, and I knew almost every song she sang, which I'm not a huge Avril Lavigne fan. I don't dislike her, but I really enjoyed watching her perform. I was like, I would see her again. That was good. I really like her music, and so I stood up through all of that. And to a healthy person, none of this is probably a big deal to you, and you're like, why are you telling me all this? Little man also stood up with me. Obviously, we're all 4 of us together. And then he started, Avril Lavigne stopped performing around 8:30. Fall Out Boy wasn't supposed to come on until almost 9. So we had a half an hour, and little man's getting real antsy. He wants to sit down. He's getting irritable. And also, people are getting real pushy at this point. And when I mean pushy, like, they're pushing. They're actually pushing people. And little man was getting real tired of being shoved around because he's a little kid, so they thought they could. And then we were standing there, and Juju goes, that man just did a line of the white powder right off his hand, right in front of her. And so I'm like, well, I mean, I try to protect my kids. She's an adult. I try to protect my kids from things in this world that I was exposed to as a child, but like, it's a festival, and I knew that that was going to be an issue, and there was a lot of wacky tobacco smoking, which, like, whatever. My son is aware of what that is and what it smells like because everyone in Virginia smokes. I'm telling you, you can't drive down the street and get fresh air anymore. So, like, it is what it is. We left the crowd after Avril Lavigne so that Lucas could sit down or just get out of the crowd for a minute. And then we were going to go back, try to find him a spot, which we did. And at this point, little man had had enough. He's tired. He wants to leave. His legs hurt. His back hurts. And oh my God, did he tell me and 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 yell at 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 me. For 45 minutes. And it was to the point where we both were crying. And Fall Out Boy had not stepped on stage yet. And I'm like, I'm going to have to leave. I'm going to miss it. I told him, I said, I'm never bringing you to another festival again. This is not fair to me. I understand that your legs hurt. My legs hurt too. Like, the music will come on. You'll feel better. I promise. That boy can be mean. I'm texting Chris. I'm like, you might have to come get him, but like, I'm gonna lose my spot. And we were kind of close to the stage. We're kind of close to the stage in the same way we were kind of close to the stage for All Time Low. And people were pushing and shoving and trying to squeeze through. And Lucas got shoved by this woman in a red furry coat. And I instinctively went mama bear, and I reached around him and I shoved the shit out of this person. She turned around and looked at my son like she was about to hit him and saw that it was my hand right there. And she gave us the death stare, because I shoved her. And then when she's staring like she's going to do something, I said, you are pushing a little kid. And then RJ, calm down, Elmo. It's not that serious. Fast forward 15 minutes forward. This grown man who was drunk out of his mind pushes through, shoves Lucas this way. Lucas took both of his hands on this man's back and shoved him. Now, I'm not telling you this to say that I'm proud of my family, but I'm proud of little man, and I'm going to tell you why. He has been pushed around and took it too many times. The bullying that he went through in school, the physical violence he went through in school, he sat there and absorbed it. And then he would come home and be angry at the rest of the world and take it out on us because we're safe. He had it all, and he would just take it. And I hate that about him, because don't take it. Don't take it. If you allow them to bully you and beat you up, they're going to do it. Fight back, they'll stop. This may be a wrong opinion. That's the way I was raised, and it's what worked for me. Because I too dealt with a lot of the things he dealt with. You have to fight back. They will continue to do it if they think you're weak. So as grown, I'm going to cuss in this video. We're just going to deal with it, okay? This grown-ass man pushed my son, who is 10 years old. Granted, he's 5'3". He's still 10 years old. He's a little boy. Okay? And on top of that, he is special needs. Period. You just shoved a 10-year-old special needs child. And when my son pushed him back full force, both hands like that, I wrapped my arm around him to keep him safe. I pulled him back towards me. And the man's best friend, who was walking behind him, looked at me like, oh shit. Because I had Mama Bear face on again. And he gave me the Midwestern smile. And if you don't know, here it is, okay? They pinched their lips and kind of, I don't know why we do it, okay? He did that, looked terrified in his eyes, like I'm going to walk past real slow. I'm not going to touch nobody. And he like eased through, and a girl behind him eased through. And we had one more incident of a man and his family pushing through real hard. And he shoved through past, and they kept going in between Lucas and me, or Lucas and Juju, because we kind of bubbled around him. So it was me, RJ, Juju around him. And they would like, oh, because we were giving him a little bit of a bubble, because like neurodivergent, like overstimulation, like we don't want him to spaz out. He's already having a hard time. They're going to shove in that way. You're not shoving between me and my kid. And so this man came through, and he's trying to shove his way through. And I screamed in his ear, "You're shoving a child, asshole!" And his wife looked at me like... So we will not be going to a festival with him until he's grown. It was also my first music festival. I've never been anything like that, so I didn't know what to expect. So like I said, there's things that were hard and rough, and we dealt with them, that I don't like remembered, but for the most part. Now we're going to get into the really good parts, because... And I'm going to put some video clips on the end, but I might have to mute the sound because copyright, and I don't want to get copyright struck in, because these are really big bands, and they will absolutely strike me. When the music came on, everything kind of melted away, and the whole crowd was in. They were all singing and all dancing, and there wasn't shoving and pushing, and I didn't obviously see as much drug use because it was dark out at this point. And little man was just completely in the music, singing and dancing. And my husband is on the stage, Patrick Stomp, because I love him. And yes, Mr. Cinnamon is okay with me calling him my husband. He also teased me at the last concert that I was going to slip him my hotel room key. And I surely would have, but he's my hall pass, okay? Patrick Stump is absolutely my hall pass. I have full and utter permission if that opportunity ever comes up, which I know that it will not. But we had a really good time when the music was on. And even afterward, you know, even coming out of the venue, it was very chaotic. There's 40,000 people trying to exit at one time. And that's an actual number. 40,000 people trying to exit in one little thing going onto a street. Mr. Cinnamon couldn't get to us to pick us up because there was no parking anywhere near the venue. And we could have walked to the hotel, but it was like 2 miles down or something like that. And we could have done it, but I'm glad he was there to pick us up. The grand overlook of everything that happened at the concert, overall, it was an amazing time. We learned some lessons. I also learned that I do, in fact, really love RJ because something happened, or I perceived something to happen, and I went into mama bear mode for him. This man is way taller than me, okay? I look up to him. He's over 6 feet tall. I'm like, when I hug him, I'm to his shoulder, okay? So I instantaneously went into mama bear mode, and I don't remember what the incident was. I just remember I perceived it as somebody said something to him or something, and I looked and I was like, what happened? And I instantaneously went, Rrr. I'm gonna protect my baby cubs. And so I'm just gonna say RJ is a whole vibe at a concert, okay? The amount of smiling he did, how many times he thanked me. I had so much fun with him and Juju. And did I feel like a third wheel? A little bit, because like they're adorable and lovey and huggy, and they're very clearly in love. It's obvious to everyone that's anywhere near them. But also, like, I had so much fun with them. And I told little man the same thing I've told Juju when I'm in a concert. I'm not mom, I am Jennifer. And I'm going to act as such. Like, I will still protect you. I will still be your mom. But I'm going to sing and dance and act a fool. And if you feel embarrassed by that, that's your problem, not mine. And I fully intend on you to dance with me. Because because we were in the car the other day and I was singing to him and we're stopped at a light. I grabbed his hand to sing into his hand like a mic, and he yanked his hand away. He said, "Stop it!" And so then we had a talk. I said, "You are absolutely going to dance with me at the concert. We're going to sing and scream and clap and dance. And you're going to dance with me, and you're not going to care because nobody else is going to care. And we're going to have a good time. That is required of a concert." And he did. And there were a lot of moments where he was looking to RJ for how to behave. He really looks up to RJ. I mean, literally and figuratively. And he was mimicking RJ's moves. And I got a video of the two of them dancing together. And it just makes my heart so happy. It was really, really cool. And overall, the event was good. They had a lot of food booths. I didn't go to any of the food booths because gluten, and they did have gluten-free options there. However, I don't feel safe eating in a situation like that because I don't know what training they've had with gluten-free things in those booths. And I also know cross-contamination makes me sick. It is work time. They fed their dogs. Is that the problem? I'm gonna let him out because Ponyo's in her cage, which means they're eating. So I'm gonna let him go eat. Alright. So, I don't remember where I was at. Anyway, we danced, we sang, we had a good time for the most part. There was a few incidents where, you know, I wasn't my best self. I was not my best self in a few of those moments. Oh, the food. I was talking about the food. So, even though they had gluten-free options, I just don't know. And you know, the hustle and the bustle, they're trying to get people in and out of the lines so that nobody's getting angry and throwing stuff. Because a lot of them were drunk. And, I didn't feel safe eating there. Juju didn't feel safe eating there. So, we asked Mr. Cinnamon if he would get us some gluten-free Domino's pizza and have it in the room for when we came back so we could have post-concert food. Because post-concert food is the best, but honestly, the pizza was real gross. The sauce was really, really sweet. And because I don't eat sugar, it tasted even more sweet to me. So I felt like I was eating a dessert pizza, which, I only had 2 real tiny slices because gluten-free pizzas are real small anyway. And I was like, I don't want that. That doesn't taste good. But he should have got us tacos, but like that's another story. We're also in downtown Boston. There's not like fast food restaurants on every corner or gluten-free place. Like you gotta go order from like specific restaurants to be able to eat gluten-free. I should also say, halfway through Fall Out Boy's set, little man is really struggling to still stand up. His back was hurting him real bad. He's bent over. He's begging me to sit down in the mud at the feet of all these alcoholic people around us. And I kept telling him, I was like, "Baby, you cannot sit down here. You will get trampled to death." I said, "Look around. Everyone is drinking. Alcohol, 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 alcohol." I said, half of them are smoking weed. They are not aware of their surroundings. And you are a dark little blob in the mud. They won't see you. You will get trampled. He's like, "Mom, I just want to sit down." So the way the stage was the stage was here, okay? Center stage, back, like the whole center of the stage, all the way back, there was no crowd allowed. The crowds were only on the sides because there's this big thing, like a tower, a media tower, if you will, with cameras for the big screens, with, they're probably recording. The drone operator was in this big, it was a small like fabric building. Okay, so it was probably the size of my house, I'm gonna be real honest. And the crowds were on either side of it. They were not in front of it, and no one was in back of it. Because if you're in back of it, you can't see the stage at all. So behind that was a big giant screen on the whole thing. And I took little man over there, and he sat on his poncho with my phone. And we sang, and he danced a little bit, but mostly he played on the phone. I stood next to him with my feet spread wide so that I could step over in case someone doesn't see him because they're drunk. and tries to trip over, I can catch them. But also, there was like a whole group of security back there with me. And I stood there in front of this big giant screen, and I had my own personal concert. There was nobody around me, nobody was pushing me, nobody was touching me, nobody was around him. And I just danced all by myself, and I sang for the second half of the Fall Out Boy concert. And I made the very best of it, because I still wanted to have a good time and not be mad at him for ruining my evening. And I think I really did accomplish doing that. If you can hear Ponyo, she gets put in her crate for when she eats, because she has some food aggression, and we're still working on that. And she also will eat all of Bentley's food because he eats slow, and he will leave his bowl and let her eat. Not because of food aggression, just because he really loves her and that's his baby, and he like lets her eat his food. So she has to be separated when she eats so that Bentley will actually eat, because he won't eat at all. That's why she's whining. She's in the crate. Hopefully Bentley actually ate. We'll see. Anyway, so that's the wrap up of the concert. There are absolutely things that I wish hadn't happened and that I'm a little sad about. I'm sad I couldn't see the stage for most of the concert and I could only see the screen. But at least I was there and I got to listen to the music and dance and sing, and I had that big giant screen in front of me by myself. Ma'am, you are not coming in here. You know better. So when asked about my weekend, because like I said, that moment when me and Lucas were both crying, I was ready to leave, and I would have absolutely been devastated. I was ready to leave and miss Fall Out Boy entirely, and the whole weekend would have been for nothing. And I was angry at him, and I was angry at myself, and I was like disappointed, and I was just really frustrated. Because being a special needs mom is freaking hard. Okay, it is. Nobody talks about how hard it is, how much you struggle on a day-to-day basis, let alone stuff like that where you just want the day to be good and crap happen. Like, we don't talk about it because we're supposed to be super women and we're supposed to do everything and be perfect moms, even though it's freaking hard. Okay, so I talk about it because if you've ever been in a situation where your special needs kids are just acting crazy, but you really wanted it to be an important special day, yeah, I hear you. I'm there. But I did make the very best of it. And I had a good time. That's all that mattered. At the end of the day, that's all that mattered. All the other crap that happened, we had a really good time. We had a really good time. So the next day, my plan was to go to Salem, Massachusetts. Okay? I wanted to see some witchy stuff. Juju wanted to see some witchy stuff. Now, this is the part. If you are a super, super Christian, there's nothing wrong with that, and you are scared of anything that is occult talking, or if you feel the need to put in the comments about anything that is crazy, perceived by me as crazy, or you try to criticize me or tell me that I'm like worshiping the devil or any of that crap, if you sit in judgment on me or what I'm about to say, you can shut off the video and go read your Bible, okay? Because the first thing you should go is go to, I think it's 1st or 2nd Timothy, thou shalt not judge. Well, that's not the actual words. It's actually, judge not lest ye be judged. And it goes on from there, talking about how you should not set judgment on other people. You should not judge them for their behaviors. That is not your job. That is God's job alone, to sit in judgment of other people. And if you're out there judging people on the internet, you're a sinner. Period. Now with that, I'm not trying to cause controversy. I don't talk about politics on here. I don't talk about religion stuff because I know it's very personal and is very, a lot of people are very passionate about what they believe. You need to understand, in the world that we live in, we all live through different feelings, experiences. We've all been taught things differently. And what you have been taught, no matter what you have been taught, is not 100% accurate, because the people who taught you these things are humans and men, and they don't have all the answers because they're not God. Okay? So even though you think you know everything, you do not. Okay? And there are people who feel all kinds of ways about all kinds of stuff, and they're not wrong. Neither are you. We all live from our own experiences, okay? I was born and raised Catholic. I fully believe in things that are not taught to me by the Catholic Church. I believe in things that are actually frowned upon by the Catholic Church. Does that make me less Catholic? No. That makes me a person who has made my own belief system based on my experiences in this world. And if you follow blindly to just one thing, that is your prerogative. I do not. I believe there is truth in all religions. I believe there is truth in all beliefs. And I believe we are all here for a reason. And it's not to be mean and judgmental. I'm just going to say that because I am going to talk about occult stuff. And I do have a big giant witch on my shirt. Okay? And I absolutely went there for the witchy stuff. I had a really good time too. I really like Salem. I want to go back. So, I'm also kind of a movie nerd. Okay? I'm going to say that. I'm a movie nerd. I've always been drawn to witchy type stuff. I've also been told, as a matter of fact, I got one of you made me a sign that is on my wall. It says, "Witches gather here, Cinnamon Stitches Yarn Studio." It's on my wall year round. Okay? It is. I have been told by I don't know how many people that I am descendant of a witch. I'm the descendant of a witch. I'm descendant of witches. And if that scares you, I'm sorry, but that's whatever. It's whatever, okay? I also have friends who are Wiccans. I have very dear friends who are Wiccans. I'm not one of those people that judge or think that I have all the... I know that I don't have all the answers. I know you don't have all the answers. Nobody does. It's just the way it is. There are things about the universe and there are things in existence we will maybe never know about because it is too expansive. Okay? Now, with that, I have desperately wanted to go to Salem, Massachusetts for as long as I can remember. Battery. I should also preface this to say I actually do have knowledge about a lot of different beliefs and religions because while I was raised Catholic, my mom, I come from a long line of Catholics. My mom also allowed a bit of freedom with what we experienced. And I have been to churches as a child, like 5 years and up. I have been to all kinds of religious places to learn about, to study, to take classes with. People that I became friends with over the years, like, hey, you want to go to Bible class with me on Wednesday? And they would come pick us up in a bus. And I probably couldn't even tell you all the types of denominations, churches I've been to. My mom used to take Bible study through the Latter-day Saints, which is Mormons. So I have experience and knowledge through a wide variety of beliefs. One of my very good friends in high school was Jehovah's Witness. Like I said, I have friends that are Wiccan. I really have liked to, just for funsies, watch documentaries or learn more about all kinds of beliefs and stuff like that. So this is why I feel the way that I do. And you don't have to agree with me. I'm not trying to push my opinion on anybody. You don't have to agree with me. You could think I'm a moron. I don't care. Just don't comment that below because I will immediately block you. Because if I can listen to your opinion, you can listen to mine. Okay? Now, Juju has also kind of felt that same kind of way in regards to Salem and the witches. And she actually knew some of the stories of the people who got stoned in Salem. And she was educating me because I didn't know the stories. So I wanted to go see the memorial for the 20 people who were accused of witchism and who were murdered. And I wanted to go see some of the cool witchy shops and the occult shops and like the cool stuff, like, you know. And That's all I really wanted to do. I just wanted to go explore and look. And I kind of wanted to, if we could, see the stuff from Hocus Pocus. Okay, so we did in fact do that. Alright, so we saw the house that was supposed to be Allison's house. I don't have a picture of it, but we saw the town hall building that they used for where the parents went and danced. We actually were sitting in front of it for a long time not knowing what it was because I was bickering with my husband once again. Because he was real cranky. And he didn't want to do nothing, and he, like, I wanted to go see something specific, and he's like, well, we gotta go do that. And everybody had to go to the bathroom. We couldn't find a bathroom. We're getting on each other's nerves. I'm exhausted. My whole body is hurting because the concert and the festival, and like, I'm irritable. So, and I was coughing real bad. And, yeah, he had to go into CVS and give me cough drops. But we went into a couple of really cool, I'm calling them witch shops. We went into one that was just, it was more like a museum than it was a shop. They had stuff for sale, but it was weird occult things and weird things from movies. Like they had Turnip Head from Howl's Moving Castle. They had the dog thing from Neverending Story. I can't remember his name. They had crochet ghosts in one of the things. They were glow in the dark crochet ghosts. I was like, oh, they have crochet. I was so excited. People in that store were kind of snotty though. They have a statue for, and I don't have it on my phone because Mr. Cinnamon took a picture of it, I think. Oh, I might have a picture of it. If I do, I'll pop it up. The Bewitched statue. So the TV show Bewitched, which I was obsessed with when I was a child. I loved Bewitched. I wanted to have magic powers so bad when I was a little kid. I used to have dreams constantly that I could move things with my mind. That I had, what do they call that? Something with kinetic. Whatever. I used to have dreams like that all the time that I had dreams that I could fly by running really fast. I would stay low to the ground, but I would hover. And I had dreams I could move things with my mind. So I could turn light switches on and off, and I could move things with my hand, without touching them. This was dreams I had from the time I can remember, And so I really have always been like fascinated with that kind of stuff. And we saw the Bewitched statue. And we're walking down the street, and there is a shop that I wasn't sure it was a shop because it said brewery on it. I think it's called Black Craft. Let me look them up. Actually, I do have a photo of them. And I leaned in, and it smelled like coffee really bad, and I just thought it was a coffee shop with merch in it, And so I ignored it. And Black Craft, yeah. Black Craft Coffee. I thought it was just a coffee shop. And RJ and Juju are walking right behind me, and he leans in and he goes, is this Black Craft Brewing? And I was like, that's what the sign says. And he's all, I know this store. And I was like, you want to go in? He's all, can we? Yeah. You ain't gotta ask. Just say, hey, let's go in here. I will go. I'm not leading. So we went in. And he said that one of his favorite bands, I think it's Ice Nine Kills, I don't know who they are, was there for their opening, and it was on their Instagram stuff. He was very, very excited. He found a shirt with their logo on it in the store, so he was stoked. But what I saw was the ceiling, and it was a giant witch statue hanging from the ceiling, and I was instantly drawn to her. Like, she was magnificent. The ceiling was cool. And I was just like, oh. I felt so connected to this giant witch statue, and I didn't know why. And I'm walking around. They had really cool merchandise. They had a life-size statue of Edgar Allan Poe. I have always loved Poe. I have always loved Poe. I have Poe's entire collection of stories in a book form in there. Actually, I think it's in storage because I packed away all my books. And I'm like, Poe. And then they had, I think it was a coaster that said, "I'm just a po' boy," and it had a picture of Poe on it, which made me laugh so hard. And there's like just cool stuff in this. The store was cool, you know. And there was a crossbody bag that said Sinner on it. And in case you don't know, RJ's in a band. His band is more sinners than saints. And I instantly was like, oh, that's kind of cool. That'd be like, you know, for RJ's band or whatever, right? And I found this shirt. And it was hanging. And this is Nidia. This is the witch that hangs from the ceiling. Which I probably already showed you the picture. And at the bottom it just says Blackcraft. Okay. And it was a size 4X. Which I wear currently. And I was like, first of all, stores like that don't have above a 2X. They don't. It's really hard to find 4Xs. And I was like, they're size inclusive and it's got my witch on it. And I grabbed it and I didn't even think twice. I'm buying the shirt. I wanted a shirt from Salem and I got one, right? I saw something was written on the back. Didn't read it. I just thought it was a cool shirt. Juju found one that was orange that didn't have writing on the back, so she bought herself one. So, in the midst of me not feeling good and us bickering in front of the town hall, which came after us visiting this store, I was showing Juju my shirt because she was showing me hers and we were showing each other what we bought. And Mr. Cinnamon went to get cough drops. And she's all, your shirt has writing on the back, mine don't. I was like, yeah. She goes, what does it say? I was like, I don't know, I didn't read it. So, like I said, at the beginning of this video, I have a lot of things that's wrong with me physically. I've had things wrong with me physically since I was little. I have really bad genetics. I did not have proper nutrition growing up. And it has led to a lot of health issues. The main one, I'm a diabetic. I have heart problems. There's a lot of things I don't even talk about with you guys. Okay? Nidia is the witch that hangs from the ceiling. She flies up there. The back of my shirt that I'm currently wearing says, overlooking the west corner of downtown Salem. This sculpture is a tribute to those who are fighting for their health. The name Nidia is inspired by the medical term Ned, meaning no evidence of disease. She embodies courage, tranquility, and a bit of magic. Everything one needs when facing uncertainty. May this sculpture be a source of hope for those who come upon it. I cried reading it to her, having no idea what I'd bought. A shirt that said that. When I tell you that I've been sick most of my life, I've been sick most of my life. Like as a little kid, my mom wouldn't take me to the doctor, so we didn't have health insurance, couldn't afford it. And when I became a teenager, I had health insurance. And I kept getting the, if she loses weight, she won't be sick anymore. That went on until I was an adult. And they kept saying, if you lose weight, you feel better. And then I discovered on my own because I'm 45. I should have had my first 1 or 2 colonoscopies. I've had several. I think I figure out what was wrong with me. There's no evidence of disease. They have never known why my heart is messed up. It just is messed up. They don't know why. There's no physical evidence. But it just beats erratically. And then I found out later on that the top of my heart is actually enlarged. Has been. Whole life. It's not a fat person heart. It's a, I was born with a screwed up heart. So, the amount of sick I have been in my life is ridiculous. And so, the shirt just like, I cried a lot. And also lately, like with the medicine that I'm on and me trying to get healthy and the huge adjustments my body is doing to adjust to diabetes for one. The medicine, I'm trying to control the diabetes. coming off of medications I've been on for close to 20 years. For my heart, for my blood pressure, for all of the things. And really just not feeling good. Between my back screwing up last week and now turning because I danced too much. Being sick and coughing, and the little man crushed my bladder, so I have to wear protection when I cough too much. Yeah. There's a combination of being pregnant with him. He laid really low, but also I had a C-section and it kind of shifted everything. So if I get sick, I have to wear protection. And I say that because I know there's other people that have to deal with this crap. And yes, it's embarrassing, but like, it's my life, you know? So like, I cried about what the back of my shirt said. And I thought about Kayla. I'm going to be honest. I thought about Llama Mom Kayla while I read it because it's hard watching her be so sick. Because I know to a very small degree what she feels. And I hate seeing it. I can't imagine what Big Daddy feels, to be honest. If you don't know who Llama Mama Kayla is, go watch her. She's a magnificent human being, period. Exclamation point. So, after that, we did in fact find the memorial for the people who were wrongly accused and killed for witchism, for being a witch. And it was so sad. It was so sad. And that's why I opened this with, if you are, I don't want to say a zealot, a religious, if you are extremely passionate about your religion, I'm happy for you that that means so much to you. But just because somebody's different doesn't make them bad or a sinful person, or because they believe different things does not make them evil. Okay? It doesn't. That's why those people got killed, because they were judged so harshly and wrongly for stupid things. And it was so sad because, and what's really, really sad about it is one of the people, I think his name is Giles, was crushed to death. And his monument is a big giant stone. And I was like, that's a little heavy-handed. That's a little tacky. And I was like, that was the only one that was crushed to death. The rest were hanged. And Juju goes, I know this story. And she proceeded to tell me. And I'm trying to remember from what she told me of the story, so I may be wrong in this, but I think she said he was like an 83-year-old farmer or something, accused of being a witch. And they piled stones on his chest to try to get him to confess or plead. He would not plead in the trial. And they piled stones on him. And I think after the third day, they kept putting heavier and more bigger stones on him. And he yelled out his final words. I believe she said he yelled out, put more on or make it heavier or something like that. And then he succumbed because it crushed him to death. And how heartbreaking is that? I just cannot even imagine. He was so set in his own innocence and not having to prove his innocence. He was absolutely defiant in the fact that you can kill me, but you're not going to get me to be something that I'm not. And on the ground was carved in the stones the pleas, I am innocent. I will never admit to guilt. Things like that in the stone. And it was very sad. And every stone had flowers laid on it, and like stones and coins, because different people believe you leave different things on a headstone. Some people leave flowers, some people leave stones, some people leave coins. Anyway, I walked around and I looked and I gave a moment to each one of those people, because I know what it feels like to be persecuted. I know what it feels like to be judged. I know what it feels like it just was sad. It was real sad. And then we walked away, and me and Juju both were like, God, it felt so heavy to be there. Like, it was so sad. You could still feel the energy. Like, it's so strong there still. And we walked around the corner, and this is a little alleyway, and we were still on the search for a bathroom at this point. And we went over across to where the visitor center was, found a bathroom. But before we got there, there is a big giant window that is painted with Frankenstein's face, Frankenstein's monster's face, because I know somebody's always going to correct me on that. And I was like, and I'm looking because there's Frankenstein, baby Frankenstein's on my wall right there. The diamond painting baby Frankenstein is on my wall right there. And I looked up, I was like, Frankenstein. And so I was like, so I started to take a selfie, and then RJ's like, you want me to take a picture, you guys? I was like, yeah. He was very good about taking pictures of us. It was really sweet. And so I got a picture in front of the Frankenstein window. And I took a picture of him with his head in the stalks. And then I think at that point we were all kind of tired because it was been a long weekend. We did a lot. We walked a lot. We danced a lot. We sang a lot. We were tired. We were hungry. And so we decided we were going to go find something to eat. And Juju was like, I just want to go to one more store. And I was like, where do you want to go? I've always wanted to go into an HMart. HMart is a Asian supermarket. We don't have any near us. They're all up north by DC. We've never been in an HMart. And my birth children love Asian food of all kinds. Lucas has an affinity for Japanese food specifically. But, like, snack-wise, he eats Tom Yum Goong flavored seaweed. It's his favorite. He will eat a bag every day if I let him. He loves shrimp or prawn chips, depending on where you get them from. I used to love them too before I found out I couldn't eat gluten. I loved shrimp chips. He loves all kinds of noodle dishes. He likes ramen. He likes what's those really fat noodles? He just likes noodle dishes, Asian noodle dishes, all kinds of it. Okay. He doesn't like the vegetables in any of it, but he really likes the noodles. And he loves soy sauce, okay? If I can't get him to eat food, if I put soy sauce on it, he will eat it. Juju loves sushi, kimbap, musubi, anything in that kind of genre, but also like snacks. I don't remember what all we bought, but they also had fruit bowls with dragon fruit. They had red dragon fruit with, I think, melon. And then white dragon fruit with strawberries in a different bowl, so we got that. And I got kimbap, because it was fresh made kimbap, and there was no sauces or anything in it. It was gluten-free. There was nothing in it but the vegetables, the tofu, the egg stuff, the sweet egg, the seaweed, the rice. Like, it was safe for us to eat, and I love kimbap. And kimbap sometimes will have soy sauce, and soy sauce has gluten in it, in case you don't know. So we have to use the gluten-free soy sauce or the tamari. They had fresh sushi, some not so fresh sushi. They had sashimi. They had these big bags, and I've been searching the internet to see if I can find them again, because I found them at HMart and have not seen. I can't find them on Amazon. They're out of stock at the one Asian store that carried them, and I don't see even a picture of it. They're called vegetarian shrimp chips, and there's these Mexican things that Mr. Cinnamon turned me on to. I think they're called, I want to say Dorados, but I don't think that's the right name. Doritos. They're duros, okay? What they are, and we would buy, I call them wheelie dealies. These right here. They're, before I knew I couldn't eat wheat or gluten, okay? They're these things, okay? In California, the ice cream man sells them, and you put lime and chili on them, and they're good. I put a hot sauce on them, Tapatio specifically. They're little compressed, dried out wheat snacks that when you drop them in oil, they expand and puff up. And they're light and airy and crispy and crunchy, and they're really good. Can't eat them because there's wheat, and they make me sick. Because I ate wheat for 40 years, didn't know that I was allergic to it. Anyway, so they had vegetarian shrimp chips. Like I said, love shrimp chips. They contain wheat. Okay? Can't eat them. Haven't had them in 5 years. My son eats them all the time. I love them. They're so good. And I was like, vegetarian shrimp chips. And I flipped the bag over and I was like, they're made with tapioca. I can eat tapioca. There's not a whole lot else in it. And I was like, there are no gluten containing ingredients in these. So I bought 2 bags. I bought the black pepper flavored and the original, which they don't taste like shrimp at all. They taste like the duros. The whole bag, and it was a big giant bag. They're gone. We ate through them. We polished them off. I have the black pepper bag in there still. I haven't tasted them yet, but oh, I really, really hope I can find them again because they were so good. Now, am I supposed to eat those kind of snacks? No, but like when you're traveling and you just danced all night and you've been walking all day, I allow myself carbohydrates because I already burned off way more and I need to keep my, sugars at a good level anyway. I don't want it to go too low, so I have to eat. Anyway, so I spent $147 at HMart, and I'm telling you why this is important, okay? When you're traveling and you are feeding 5 people and you can't eat fast food or a lot of, you have to find a restaurant that can suit all of our needs. RJ has real bad food sensitivities and can only eat certain foods. Juju and I are both allergic to gluten. We have vile reactions to gluten, okay? The first night, we ordered food from Peter Chang's. Right? No, P.F. Chang's. One of those. I think it's P.F. Chang's. I think Peter Chang's is the one that's closest to us. Anyway, they have gluten-free fried rice, gluten-free, it was a sweet and spicy type chicken. I think it's orange chicken. And I've eaten there before when traveling with Mr. Cinnamon to Alabama last year. So I knew the food was good. I knew it was safe. I knew I could eat it. So we just ordered that. And that was... It was probably $150 just for that. It was expensive. And I'm like, okay, well, we had to eat HMart. I spent $150. I got enough food for everyone to not only eat dinner, snacks for later, snacks for the car ride home. I bought ramen for Lucas for home. I bought food for at home as well. So it was like I went grocery shopping at HMart and brought all the shelf-stable stuff home. We ate a really big meal. We had a lot left over. And we had kimbap and sushi and sashimi and fresh fruit and Lucas made himself a noodle bowl and he got some chicken from HMart. And RJ ate his leftover pizza because none of that, he was like, I'm going to eat my pizza. I'm like, you eat whatever you want, son. I also bought him some Korean corn dogs that he never got a chance to eat because he ate his pizza instead. And he felt really bad. I was like, son, I don't care. It was only $10. If you want more when we get back home, I'll buy you more. It's fine. It's not a big deal. And whoever not the waitress, whoever the room cleaner is, I have no doubt that she will put that in her cart and take it home to her family and feed them. I'm cool with that because it's a fresh sealed bag. I have no doubt that I would do the same thing. I know that they do that. I know that they do it. They know the room's being checked out. They know that that's left over. It's either going in the garbage or going home with them. I know they do it. I have had friends in that field. I know I'm perfectly fine with that. Take it. There was food in the fridge. Take it. There was leftover chips and salsa. Take it. I mean, it's perfectly good food. It's not like those people make a whole lot of money, so if you need it, take it. If not, I don't care. Not my problem. Because I feel like I got so much more monies out of going to HMart. And HMart was cool because down along the side of HMart was an alley with a bunch of graffiti, and we all went down there and took our pictures. It was really cool. Like, the whole trip was, overall, like I said, there was way more good stuff than there was the bad stuff. And I just had a really good time. I also went to a Joann's the day before she was set to close. Got some good deals, which you saw last week. I went to Ocean City Job Lots, which is a store out there that I heard about from my friend Kim over it. She used to do Affordably Crafty. She hasn't done videos in a long time. I miss her so much. And then we went to Savers and we went thrift shopping. We got some souvenirs. It was just the whole weekend was jam-packed. So much fun. Oh, we also saw Max's house from Hocus Pocus. I didn't say that part. And then on the drive home, we're driving and Mr. Cinnamon's like, Mystic, Connecticut. He goes, ain't that where they filmed Mystic Pizza? And I was like, I have no idea. I've only seen Mystic Pizza one time. And I may have seen parts of it throughout my life because my sister loved that movie. I've only seen it once, and it was like within the past 5-10 years. And so I was like, oh, it would be so cool to go see Mystic Pizza. And he's all right off the freeway, and so now he's anxious to go, like, let's go stop. Whereas before he was like, oh. We also went to a really cool comic book store in, which was right across the street from Blackcraft in Salem. And the kids I got little man some toy thing. RJ bought Juju a couple of cute little things. He got her an Elvira, because she's obsessed with Elvira comic book, and he got her a Mandalorian Funko Pop, but Mandalorian had his helmet off, and Juju loves Mandalorian, loves Grogu, loves Pedro Pascal even more than both of those. And so it was him with his helmet off. Juju freaked out. It was just like, it was a really good weekend. It was really a lot packed in to a small amount of time, and we're all kind of tired, but it was so much fun. It was so much fun, and I want to go back. And then driving home, not only did we stop and see Mystic Pizza, we drove past, we didn't stop, but also RJ was getting contacted from Blackcraft. They saw his music video and they want to do a collab with him and put some merch in their store with his band's name on it. And when I tell you that he was freaking out, he was in the back seat like so happy, and I'm so happy for him. I'm proud of him. I've said this before, and I've had quite a few people like, I don't like your opening music. It gives me a headache. That's not really music. I disagree entirely. That boy's talented. RJ wrote that song for me. That is him performing. He is talented. He's funny. He could be a stand-up comedian. He's so funny. And when he gets on a roll, he actually stands up and does the whole routine. He's funny. He's likable. He's musically talented. And he's gonna do things in his life. And he also he draws really well. And I keep trying to get him to create me a tattoo because he draws fake tattoos on his body all the time. So when you see his tattoos, those are drawn. Those are not tattoos. They're art that he draws on his own skin. And I keep telling him, I want him to design me a tattoo because I want tattoos on my arms. I have one on my leg. And I want a tattoo for Lucas, but I also want a Fall Out Boy tattoo on my arm. And it was just really neat that the way the whole thing happened with the Blackcraft store. First of all, I was going to walk right past it, and he recognized it. He wanted to go in. And then the connection with Nidia, and then them contacting him and we really like you. Can we collab with? That is a huge deal to an artist. That is a huge deal. It was so stinking cool. And like I said, he's really talented. He has so many potential things he could do in his life. And it's just going to be a matter of which direction he decides to go in. I really enjoyed spending time with him. He fits in so well with my family. It's really strange because we're all kind of weird. And he fits in. He understands. He's non-judgmental. He's cool with pretty much everything. Like, there's things that we do that probably people will think, oh, they're weird. And I know this. He's like, he's cool with like, chill. So, yeah, it was a really good weekend. I started to crochet a shirt. I'm struggling to sit still and work on it because there's so many other things I want to do. And I'm also really tired. And I was trying to crochet and I kept falling asleep. And because I don't feel good, I know I'm going to snore, and I don't want to snore. I didn't want to snore in the car. I don't want to snore sitting on the couch. So I'm like, I don't want to fall asleep. So I fight to stay awake. Then I have to put the crochet down and stare at my phone so I don't fall asleep. And also, if I fall asleep during the afternoon, I'm not going to sleep at night. And I'm already not sleeping at night because I don't feel good and I'm having issues. But yeah. So I think I'm going to end the video. I've been talking for a really long time, sharing all of our adventures in Boston and beyond. We left really early in the morning on Monday to try to beat some of the Memorial Day traffic. We made really good time. We were able to stop and drive by Mystic Pizza, which was cool. We made a couple of stops for bathroom trips or snack trips or water trips or drink trips or whatever we needed to stop for. And we were home by, I want to say 4:30, 5 o'clock. And I came home and I made a big pot of chili in the Instapot. And it was way too spicy. And I don't know why, because I didn't put anything spicy in it. Because RJ and Hermione cannot handle spice at all. And I was like, you guys are going to have to find something else to eat because you're not going to be able to tolerate the heat in this. But RJ still had Hot Pockets in the freezer, so I think he ate a Hot Pocket. Or he didn't eat at all because he wasn't feeling good from the car drive. And then my niece had ate. She ate one, so she didn't eat chili either, but the chili was delicious. I really enjoyed it, and I like spice, so it was perfect for me, but it was a little bit warm for them. And then, yeah, just been trying to heal up and recover. I'm totally failing on the everyday in May thing since we've been home, which today is Wednesday. I have not worked out since Monday because Monday we were in the car all day. Tuesday, my legs were swollen up so big. They were painful from the drive, from being on my feet too much, from not drinking enough water. And then today, I just really don't feel good. And so for the past 3 days, I have not worked out, but I did so much this weekend. I'm giving myself grace to rest and recuperate so that I don't make myself even more sick, because that will absolutely happen. So, but yeah, I'm going to put a couple of video clips without sound on the end of this so that I don't get copyright struck in. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. Okay, so as much as I would like to just leave the music blaring for you guys to rock out to this amazing soundtrack concert video, I do not want to get hit with copyright charge through the YouTubes. So this is All Time Low. This is the first band that we saw. This is the one RJ really wanted to see. This is how far we were from the stage. I really liked their energy. I thought the lead singer was kind of cute. They had like really good presence. They performed really well. They had good music. Really enjoyed this. So just kind of enjoy the clip. I really wish that YouTube was not so strict on stuff like this, but I understand why they are, because the artists deserve to be paid for people listening to their music. And here's my boys rocking out. Look how happy Juju is. And little man was just trying to be just like RJ. He was just having the best time ever. And they're dancing, they're rocking out. We were vibing. And we were only in the venue for maybe, I don't know, an hour at this point. This is Avril Lavigne singing Here's to Never Growing Up. Once again, I have to talk over her music. If you listen in the background, you should still be able to hear it. But she was pretty good. And she was adorable. her hair was actually giving me the vibe of a podcaster I watch who is a cooking podcaster, but the hair was like really, really similar. And as you can tell, everybody in the audience was getting into it. And this is Fall Out Boy. This is the opening for when the show starts. I get to see my husband in a hospital bed, and yeah, playing nurse. I don't know who that is, but like whatever. That's my husband. I love him. That's Patrick Stump. And he starts singing, and the whole world stops, and my brain lights up because of the vocal range this man has. He hits high notes, he hits low notes, he does things with music that just sets my brain afire, and I cannot explain why. And then the beginning of the concert, and it was absolutely magical. Coming on stage, and the crowd goes wild. This is how far we were from the stage for this. We were kind of far away, but we still had a good spot, and I was happy. The crowd was alive for certain. Andy, the drummer, he was on the screen. The is Wentz. The drummer is Andy Hurley. The guitarist is Joe Truman. And my husband is Patrick Stump. He's the lead singer. And honestly, I would just love to meet this man. I would just like to tell him thanks for the memory. Thanks for making my brain so happy. Thanks for giving me something to do when I'm cleaning or doing tutorials, because I listen to music. And if you can't see hanging from the ceiling, that's a flying sheep, which I mean also flying sheep, kind of cool. So, and then that's Joe, that's Andy. This is where I was sitting when I left, so I couldn't actually see the stage. This was blocking the entire view of the stage. Yeah. And this was still my view. I was still in a really big front of a really big screen. This is when he goes to the piano and plays, because he plays a bunch of instruments. And this is him singing Sweet Caroline, ba ba ba, because we're in Boston. Good times never been so good, so good, so good. I've been inclined, ba ba ba, to believe they never would. Yeah, I'm singing over it because you guys know the lyrics. Come on, sing with me. Sweet Caroline, ba ba ba. So yeah, Lucas was sitting on the ground on a poncho. I was singing and dancing all by myself. It was a good time for it. I'm still hoping that the little bit of sound I left in the backdrop not actually flag anything. I'm talking loud enough, and there's not any issues, and there's everybody in the house is talking to. You'll probably hear them. They don't know how to be quiet. This girl right here was actually at a couple of concerts. I think she's a groupie. She dressed as a llama for the Madison Square Garden concert. Her and her best friend dressed as llamas. It was kind of cool. And this is just him stalling because I think he needed a breath. And I didn't cut the video because I've been editing this video for hours and hours and hours. And so I didn't actually cut any of this last footage because, I'm trying to cook dinner and do this and video up for Monday so that I can rest the weekend. My dude was tired. Thanks for watching.